Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here with Jason Blaha Strength and Fitness, and once again it is time for a full body workout. I apologize for the banging. I just realized I think what's been happening, I can hear it back there during the middle of the day when I'm recording these in the morning. They're putting a roof on down the street. There's nothing I can do about it. So if you guys hear a little bit of tapping in the background, I think that's what we've been hearing. So it may be present a little bit during this. But we started off with some pause squats. So again, I'm wanting to just build pause squats up because I want to focus on depth and I want to get that, even though I've been doing rep work with 405, I want to get super deep. So I feel like doing deep ass to grass pauses are going to help me do that. I've just started ramping them up. Started with 315 a couple workouts ago and just building up. So I did them with 365 today. Also, I do want to note I skipped deadlifts today. So normally I deadlift 3 days a week. However, I am noting due to just some stuff, I added some other healthy fats and stuff back into my diet in the last few days. For some reason, my gut feels really, full from some of the walnuts and things. So again, I've noticed a mild amount of GI tract distress making me feel really full. My stomach kind of hurts. I'm like, you know what? I just don't want to risk the deadlifts today with that hurting. As funny as it sounds, it just doesn't feel right. So I'm like, I'm just going to take this one day and not deadlift. I deadlift every single workout. I've hit some really good sets in the last week. We had a really good couple of deadlift sessions. I'm like, I can take one day off from deadlifts. Not a big deal. So again, I decided to just push my other stuff a little bit harder. And I also didn't do rows because the other thing I will note, and I think it's a combination of deadlift and rows, my left hamstring starting to hurt a little bit too. So it's that combination of doing that and then saying, oh, my left hamstring, I was noticing it when I was running yesterday. I feel like it just needs a slight break, right? I feel like even the rows are hitting that a little too hard. Now, I've thought about working some reverse hypers back in. I may or may not. So if you hear that tapping right there, that's definitely them roofers down the street. And it's pretty far away, but it's really loud. I've got a good mic. But unfortunately, I can't do anything about that, right? So you guys either don't get a vlog or we deal with a little banging. So pause squats went well. The benching went well, right? So I'm like, so let's just leave the hamstring alone. Let's leave the rowing alone. Just do pull-ups. And let's focus on all my benching and bench muscles. So the top set, not really an improvement over previous ones, but my back off work is getting stronger and stronger. So that's making me feel pretty good here. I'm like, okay, so we're on a good track in terms of workloads because now we're up, right? I had been doing heavier back off, but I wanted to start doing a little more reps because I need to build muscle a little better. I just feel like my pecs do better with that. I want to build pecs and then I'll hammer triceps separately. So I started the other day with 225 and I got 12. So I'm like, let me go 235. I got 10s. I got 2 sets of 12 on the back off work and it's pretty much paused. Some of it's some soft touch and go. So again, I'm actually happy with that. It's like, okay, all the rep work is getting stronger, right? The rep work is getting considerably stronger here. So again, I'm just going to push this stuff a little bit. So I'll probably bump the weight again next time because I don't want to get more than 12 reps on this stuff. But happy with that, right? So the benching rep strength is going up. That will translate into those top sets improving. Now, my best one, I did hit 4 reps the other day on one of the sets, a week ago. So again, this is in a good spot. I do feel like with the top sets though, I do feel my triceps a little fatigued and I'm pushing them hard so it makes sense. But we're getting into slowly getting stronger on the tricep work. So I'm happy about that too. We'll discuss that when we get to it. So I'm also going to be very careful with the volumes of that stuff. All right. So I feel like between the deadlifting and the rowing, a little bit too much volume on some things. So I can take the rowing out and just do pull-ups. So that's what I ended up doing also. As much as I like rows, pull-ups are going to be my bread and butter. And I feel like I can't do rows every single workout. Again, I grow my best from lower volumes historically. I get stronger and bigger very, very quickly. So that's one reason this sort of full body stuff works well for me. So today, that's very much what we did. We did our 3 sets of bench, 3 sets of pull-ups, some triceps, and bands, and did our sled work. All right, so for pull-ups, I was like, well, since I'm not doing any curls here at the moment, let's do some neutral grip today. So I decided to do neutral grip, again, just for a little bit of extra bicep involvement, plus they're good on shoulders. Pretty happy with these. I did a 25. I got sets of 9. Some of these I tried to get to the full stretch. I didn't dead hang all the reps. I felt like I was almost dead hanging, but when I look at it, they really weren't. But at least I got to my full stretch. They felt good. I felt plenty of arm activation to go with it. Felt lat activation. So again, I feel like, I don't have to row every workout. I'm still going to have sessions where I row, by the way, right? I'm going to have sessions where I do rows. But as long as I do one or the other, I'm good. But I felt like today my posterior chain in my head, particularly my left hamstring, feels borderline overuse, and there's no point in pushing it. We get a lot of workload in here. There's no point in risking overuse or overtraining it. So I'm like, let's just let it heal. We don't have to do that every time. And that's the beauty of even with the full body stuff. If you have something that's feeling a little bit over fatigue, you can kind of pull out the stuff for that day. So I do like the idea of doing both rows and pull-ups and working through them. Days where I feel like rowing and I want a little bit of extra posterior chain and low back, we can row. And days that I don't, I'll come in and do pull-ups. But I do want to do more and more pull-ups again. I like pull-ups. Much as I like rows, I just feel I get more lat out of them. So again, as long as we do one or the other, that's going to be the beauty of it. All right, as long as we do rows or pull-ups every single workout, get my 3 sets, we end up with 9 sets for lats. We'll deadlift 2 or 3 days a week, 3 most of the weeks like we've been doing. That counts towards lats and back. That's sufficient especially if I focus on progression. And I think that's what I have to keep in mind. Progressive overload matters more than volume. And keep in mind, my frequencies are high with everything 3 days a week. So the same thing got applied to these, right? I've been able to do 10s, but I managed to get 11 on both sets of this. Now they were hard. But we've picked up a rep. So I stopped it at 2 sets. I'm like, I don't need 3 sets of extensions. Okay? I did 3 sets last time, then I ended up doing an extra set of band press downs later afterwards. I'm like, I don't have to do that. We don't have to push those volumes. Let's push progressive overload. Because if we're getting stronger, that's what matters. If our rep work, we're picking up a rep on the best sets, we have progression. We're stimulating muscle growth. And I'm pretty much recomping. For those curious, I'm just trying to stay at the same body weight I'm recomping. I'm only even loosely tracking. But I'm eating super clean, following my diet, everything in a feed window. So I'm not even worried necessarily about bulking or cutting. Let's just stay at similar body weight. Let's recomp, gain muscle, lose fat. But progression. So this stuff all got stronger there, in terms of the extensions, in terms of the benching. It's like that back off work. We're up 10 pounds for the same number of reps, right? We had bumped that 10 pounds and lost 2 reps, but then I've regained them. So I'm like, afterwards, let's just get a little bit of bands for the arms, right? Make sure we get a little blood flow, because I did do drill grip pull-ups. That still works biceps. But like, let's do a set of hammer curls to failure. Let's get some bands in. Let's get blood flow. Let's make sure we work the tendons of the elbows. Because I think elbow tendons, for me, when I'm doing all those extensions and things, I do have to watch that. I want to make sure the tendons stay strong. So the same thing on the bicep tendons, right? This helps with that, helps with the forearm a little bit. And then I did the press downs for the tricep tendons. Since I'm going to push the extensions hard, I do feel like these help keep tendonitis at bay, keeps the elbows healthy, and that's going to let me bench specialize a little bit more. And keep in mind, I squat and deadlift most of the days. I'm doing the pause squats, but then I'm using the sled work for extra work for conditioning and to build the legs. And I feel like it's made my quads pretty full, some of the angles and stuff when I sit down. The sled work works pretty well for me. But notice outside of our top sets and the pause squats, most of this looks very bodybuilder, right? It's very, very, everything was 9+ reps, and that's okay. Again, put muscle on, get strong, build muscle, keep the volume reasonable. So again, for the sled, I'm still using this heavier weight I've added. I usually do a fairly quick push down, and now I just turn around and sprint with it. Again, I feel like it helps fill my quads out. It improves my conditioning. So good workout, happy with it. So I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.